Welcome to War Games. We will get you ready for your next sales opportunity. Are you looking to win the sales battle? You have joined the right team. Here on the War Games Group, we take the strategies and mindsets from the most successful salespeople and share it with you. With our help, you won't have to fail your way to the top. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that crossed before you. Prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for War Games to begin.
Shall we play a game?
Hi, War Gamers. Welcome. Today is our Wednesday War Game. This is the one that goes out to everyone. So if you're on my regular Facebook page, LinkedIn, any of the YouTube channels, please go out and share this video. We're going to talk today about what it is that is taking away from your ability to sell, okay? And what I want to go through, and I'm going to come over and say, everybody needs to understand that this affects every single person that's out there, whether you're selling currently right now or not. It's going to be something that comes up every single person's life every day. And so I wanted to jump out, make sure everybody understands this is going to be something that you need to see, you need to pay attention to, and you need to try to implement it into your life and what's going to go on. And it's going to be something, again, I was sitting back saying, I really need to wake up and pay attention to this more. And today it hit me right on. I was listening to Jeb Blunt, and it popped up on his, and I was like, oh yeah, there's definitely going to be something going on that I need to share with you guys today. So I moved my previous class out of the way. We're also live over here on Instagram as well. So let's jump into War Games Wednesday. Let's talk about sales, mindset, attitude, lead conversion, everything. And the thing I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and invite my buddy Brian up on the screen. Hello, Brian. And so with that, with Brian on it here, I'm going to go ahead and click over and share my screen and go through some of the information that I collected for everyone so that we can see exactly what it is we need to do to help improve our sales game. So one of the things, as soon as it pops up, you're going to say, wow, Joe, really? That's what you came to play with? You brought us sleep? That's what we got to worry about is sleeping? Yeah, you definitely got to worry about sleeping. And so when I tell you that, I'm going to go through some of the things, how it affects your ability to sell. Now, I don't know about all the rest of you, but I do know a lot of times I feel so exhausted from waking up in the morning. Okay. And so we turn around and say, hey, let's go to sleep. Let's get a good night's sleep. And it's not happening. So if it's not happening, are you hurting yourself more? Are we burning the candle at both ends, as they say? So I want to come out and talk to you guys and say, let's be real. Let's be upfront and honest with everybody and say, what's the big deal about sleep? And I'm going to tell you this, okay? The Mental Health Foundation found that if you don't get enough sleep, okay, you're 4 times as likely to suffer from lack of concentration. You got relationships problems. I'll tell you why. Why you got relationship problems? Because you have 0 patience left. Now tell me, how much patience do you need with clients because you're establishing a relationship with them as well? So you don't have the time to go through, but just look at some of the effects. You're 3 times more likely to be depressed, and you're almost 3 times more likely to commit suicide. You're going to at least start getting those feelings because your brain is not operating the way it should be operating. Larry Schneider, how you doing? Charles Coachman in the house. Robert Brooker is here and can confirm this. So that means I'm not lying because Robert Brooker said it was real. So we're good to go. So everybody just take it as it is. Okay. If we look over here, why does good sleep matter to you? Okay. If you have taking these short sleep durations, now, again, I may be one of these people that you go, is that really you, Joe? And I'm going to be upfront. Okay. I go to sleep around 1 o'clock in the morning. I get maybe 4 to 5 hours worth of sleep. And in between that, I'm going to the bathroom twice. Okay. So I do feel it where I'm like, wow, you know what's happening is I am literally going to be killing myself because I am not actually getting the sleep that I need to get. And that's going to be one of the big issues. So what does it mean? You have an increased chance of weight gain and obesity, and that's for kids and adults. Okay. So if we're talking obesity, I'm going to say, hey, look, I can blame it all on sleep, right? If I slept better, I'd be skinnier. Let's go through, right? A lot of people explain that. Most trainers will tell you the same thing. One of the most effective things for you to do to lose weight and for you to be healthier is to sleep more. Okay. Depending on how long you sleep, that could count as your intermittent fasting. So that's what I want you to actually go through and say, let's start looking at our sleep. Poor sleep affects your hormones that regulate your appetite. So if you don't get enough sleep, right, when you get a lot of sleep, you tend to eat the calories that you want. When you turn around and say, I don't sleep well, you go eat all the calories you shouldn't. And it's not going to help you. Good sleeps maximize your problem-solving skills. Okay. And that's what we do when it comes to selling things. We got to enhance our problem-solving skills, enhance our memory, okay? But poor sleep has been shown to impair brain functionality. So we are sitting there looking at the fact you are operating from less than a full deck if you don't sleep. So you got to get onto that one. Longer sleep has been shown to improve a lot of aspects in athletic and physical performance. I'll just say, Brian can show you that. I can't. So Brian's in way better shape than I am on this one here. So if you look over here, what's the next thing? Sleeping less than 7-8 hours a night is linked to risk of heart disease and stroke. Okay, because your body is not getting a chance to rejuvenate. And then we jump right into the next sales meeting. We jump right into our next prospect meeting thinking we have enough, and we put our body under complete strain, and it's actually horror for the body and the brain to try and get through the processes you're asking for. The sleep deprivation can cause pre-diabetes in as little as 6 days. And understand, sleep deprivation just means you aren't getting enough sleep. It's not saying you stayed awake for 6 days. It's saying you're not getting to that point of REM sleep where you're recharging yourself and going through. Do you know if you get colds a lot of it has to be because you are not sleeping well. And then I put through the other one in there, eat more garlic, because that always helps. And I'm always down for more garlic. So looking at this one, let's jump back over now, right? Why does it matter? Sleep affects your body's inflammatory responses. Okay. So a lot of times you may not be putting on weight. You just may be swelling. And you're going to have to look at that and say exactly what is it that I'm trying to deal with to say, am I swollen? Are we going to now start having, disease come into me, bowel disease, inflammatory stuff? You want to make sure you're going to take care of yourself by sleeping. And guys, nobody tells you this stuff. This is stuff you got to go look out on your own. And I'm telling you, this is going to help you to sell better. Okay. Sleep deprivation will reduce your social skills and your ability to recognize people's emotional expressions. Stop and think about that. When you're tired, you're dull, you're flat. And if you're dull and you're flat, then you don't have the ability to actually see the people that are there. What are they feeling? What are they doing? It's going to be something you need to address with yourself that goes on. Okay. Jumping over again, because you know me, I'm trying to get done in 30 minutes. So how does it affect your sales ability? So your sales ability, how is it going to actually affect you when you go into your sales ability? So the general effects, right, hurts your head, hurts your brain, keeps you from doing that. You know you're already not going to have as fast of a reaction speed. You can't remember stuff. You sit back, the client asks you something, and you're just staring at them going, well, I knew that answer yesterday. I just don't know why I don't know it today. Okay, you can't focus on what they're doing. For those of us that are ADHD, that's already a challenge for us. Here's a secret tip for you ADHD people. When someone else is talking, you want to pay attention, take your pen and flip it in your hand like this. Okay, just keep rolling it around. And I say do it this way, not doing that little funky, woo, let me flip it and spin it, because when you drop it, you distract people. Here's the next thing. Take the pen in your hand and lower it down out of eyesight. Okay, because if you keep it up here while somebody's talking to you, you now become the distraction for their ADD. And we don't want to be that. Okay, so I want you guys to remember that. But go through, stop and look. Now, what is happening to your ability to sell? You lose the ability to be empathetic. because you can't recognize their emotions. You can't recognize the changes in what they're doing and they're reacting. So if you can't recognize it, how do you say, "Ooh, I'm going to bond with you and I'm going to build rapport by understanding how you feel," if I'm not even really paying attention to you? So you guys got to understand that. So looking at that, you also lose your active listening skills. It diminishes. You no longer active listen, you passive listen. And we all have been on the other side of a conversation waiting for that person to say something. And while we're waiting for that, you can see in their mind, they've already calculated their next response. You're still finishing your sentence and they're like, "Will you just shut up so I can actually go and say what I have to say because it's more relevant than you," right? And if they're the prospect, oops, yeah, guess we got to let them do it. But take control of your meeting. So your ability to troubleshoot the main criteria of an issue is eliminated. Because if you can't listen actively and you can't be empathetic and you can't truly pay attention to what it is they're saying, how are you going to identify the BS reasons they don't want to go forward versus the real reasons they don't want to go forward? And if you're able to pay attention because you're well rested, then guess what? Guys, when you wake up, if you go on vacation, that first night, you sleep like a baby. You wake up. Now, normally when you say sleep like a baby, like my friend Adam, he's got a newborn. So that means you wake up every 2-3 hours, want to eat, poop, or get changed. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, where you just enjoy your sleep, and when you enjoy your sleep, you wake up refreshed and you can take on the day. You can take on whatever's coming at you. If you wake up already exhausted and you wake up already in pain, then you're already beaten down halfway and it's not going to get you there. But you're not going to be able to sell this guy anything because you can't think fast enough. You can't identify fast enough, and you couldn't build that bridge around that issue that they have to get them to the point of selling. All right. And of course, your patience is reduced. We all know what happens if you get woken up. Now, they've done studies where if you go in and wake up, when you go and wake up somebody, like nurses used to wake up doctors that are on call. Okay. They go and they wake them up and shake them. Guess what? Your brain isn't cognitively working yet. It takes several minutes, and they go wake up somebody in a deep sleep who passed out from a 12-hour shift. And then they go, "So-and-so just happened." Typically, in the excess of 40%, they will provide wrong information because of the fact their brain has not become cognitive yet. So it takes anywhere from 5 to 25 minutes after you have been woken up for your brain to get into the point of actually functioning. Your better decisions will come 2 and 3 hours after you wake up. So looking at that, I want you guys to understand that this is something that I had to stop and go, "Hey, let's put it in there." Joel Burr, I see you out there. Mike, I see you. Instagram Live is starting to pick up too. So here's what you want to know, because you're all going, "Well, Joe, how much sleep do I need?" And I'm going to say, here's the sleep you need. Okay. Michael, yes, it is a huge insight. He threw it up over here on the other side. Okay. This is what's going to help you guys. It's going to go through. It's got to be this. Miss Edna's here. So looking at this, if you are a young adult like Brian between 18 and 25, he's on the screen, so he gets to claim that, right? Your ideal sleep range, 7 to 9 hours, no less than 6, no more than 11. Okay. I know that when I was 18 to 25, which was recently, no. The next bracket's much larger, so you don't know where I sit. But when you look at this, I'm going to tell you, right, 11 hours. I used to be able to sleep 12, 13, 14 hours. Okay, but what happens when you oversleep? You wake up just as tired as before you went. So you got to clock yourself and say, how many hours do I need? I myself think 6 hours is plenty now that I'm here and now that I'm much older. Now that I'm in the second bracket of 26 to 64, right? They cut away an hour, so no more than 10. But looking here, 6 hours, 7 to 9 is what they want. When you get over 65 years old, and no, I am not older than 65 years old, because Robert Brooker was going to say that, right? But what I want to tell you guys is that when you look at this, I want you to say, where is it you fall? Older people can go away with 5 hours. You know why? Because that helps them to get up in the morning even though they ain't got a job to go to because they're retired, and get on the freeway and slow down traffic because they have no place to go. You think I'm lying? Look around next time. You're like, why do we have traffic? All these old people just chilling, going, ha, ha, ha. I remember having a lot of traffic when I was younger. So that's what you look at there, guys. So looking at what it is, so screenshot, do whatever. I'll make the presentation available for you later for those of you in the private group. But how to improve your sleep. Let's stop and say, okay, now Joe's going to give us some way to help us, right? Natalie, what are you doing? Second bracket, and she sleeps 7.5 hours. Ugh, that's so long, right? That's not even enough to actually fast for your meal fasting. But looking at this, establish a routine. What does that mean? It means you need to set yourself up and program yourself to get ready to sleep. So your body has to know that when we go here, here's the issue. Has anybody ever had that feeling where no matter where I'm at work, I'm at work, right? The lovely little phones that we have, right? Make it so that wherever I'm at, you can get a hold of me, and now I got to go ahead and be at work at the same time. Absolutely. Mine's actually over here shining onto Instagram. So if I picked it up, everybody on Instagram would have thought I fell over. So if you look at it, what am I going to say to you guys? Look and say, if I feel like I'm always there, how come you haven't built a sanctuary out of your bedroom? Right? Sex and sleep, people. Sex and sleep. Even if you're by yourself, do the first one too. Sure, sex and sleep. But what I'm telling you guys is that we don't separate that. So people are sitting down, eating in bed. Okay, so you're eating in bed, you're watching TV in bed, you're playing on your phone in bed. That goes to the second one that says keep the electronics out of your bed. So that includes your iPads, everything else. Well, I can read a book on my iPad because that's the way it is. I can look at my Kindle. No, you can't. You want to read a book in bed? Read an actual book with the texture, hold the book, hold the pages, go through, because there is no blue light shining at you. The blue lights from all of our electronic devices, okay, is going to be the one that actually disrupts your sleep rhythms. And you're not going to be able to produce melatonin. And as you get older, melatonin decreases, which is why there's less sleep required for those 65 and older. That's why they always get up at the butt crack at dawn, okay, so that they can get a jump on the day, but yet they're asleep at 9 o'clock, right? It's like, nope, there's something going on with this one. Yes, I agree. Jackie says it's harder for her to sleep because of her ADHD meds. I'm with you on that one. I'm going to show you a cheat sheet here later on. So looking at that, right, this is how we're going to sleep better. Here's another way. Mind what you drink. So caffeine and alcohol really disrupt your sleep. Yes, amazing, isn't it? You're like, no, if I drink till I pass out. No, that's not what we're talking about.
So no more espresso martinis at night?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly correct. That would probably be a bad thing for you to get and jump in with. Okay. So avoid your caffeine and alcohol, but try to drink a small cup of something that is like a hot herbal tea. That's something that's there. Kai, how are you? So looking at this, when you look, we have Jesus has joined the call now down at the bottom. So y'all feel blessed. But looking at it, we have you drink something that's going to soothe you. I don't like, drinking milk because that's food for another species child. I don't get it, but that's just not me. So if you look at that, I'm going to say, give a warm cup of milk works for you. Do it. Great. Get some hot apple cider, do whatever you need to do to sort of tone yourself down. Herbal tea works great. You know me, I'm not, but I'm going to tell you that will help you in that capacity. Chamomile tea helps to take the herb down. Look, Joel Bird jumped in. He was on Instagram. Now he's over here. What's up? So looking at this, get up and try again. Now, this is something I am guilty of, and you guys on the screen can raise your hand if you want to. Out there, you guys can go drop a 1 or something in the comments or say, it's me, okay? Have you ever gone to bed 15 minutes later, you're still trying to fall asleep, and all you do is think, I'm going to power through it. I'm going to power through it, okay? Let's just go, and I'm going to force myself to sleep. Guys, it don't work, okay? So what you got to do is that reprogramming thing that we talked about earlier was just the routine, which means get up out of bed, go do something else for 15 minutes. Okay, then come back to bed and hopefully your brain goes, hey, I know what you mean. We are going to go and do this the other way, right? We are going to go back and go to sleep. So you got to get to that point, okay, that the anxiety of not being able to go to sleep is not the reason it's keeping you awake, okay, because you're trying to go to sleep. Edna, you are spot on, and I'm going to get to that one. We're coming up here in the next one. I like the way you're thinking. See, spend too much time together. We all know this stuff. Here's some remedies. Remedies are blue blocker glasses, and I'll throw the little links in here so you guys don't have to go try to figure it out yourself. That's out there. But looking at it, what do I want you guys to do? There's blue blocker glasses. You put these little glasses on, and this is for you inside. I don't care if you wear them outside. Whenever you're using a piece of equipment that has the light shining at you, you put these on, it'll block it, so that way the melatonin can start going. Over here, I put a melatonin. You can get it on Amazon, right? So part of your routine should be able to pop a couple melatonin jellies or gummies, and all of a sudden it's going to help produce your natural melatonin and get into your body and help you sleep. Now, this one I do not understand, but I'm going to tell you, you can try it anyway. Power naps, 20 to 30 minutes. I don't do power naps because that takes me that 25 minutes to 40 minutes or what have you to figure out how to think again afterwards. Right? When I wake up at that 30 minutes, now I'm like, oh gosh, now I'm going to lose a whole hour trying to get my brain to go back to thinking. So looking at that, you could take a power nap 20 to 30 minutes each day, midday. I have friends that I just pop out in my car, take a nap, come back. I'm like, I don't get you, don't understand it, but more power to you. So looking at this, guys, meditation, this is what I'm going to do, okay, as part of my remedies. Some of you have already gotten this, but I have a link that takes you to my Google Drive folder. Okay, so in my Google Drive folder, I have meditations that I've paid for. So I have spent money, okay, putting together all of these things that I bought. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason I had issues was that my brain doesn't turn off. And for all the ADD people out there, Jackie, you understand, okay? Your brain doesn't turn off when it's time to go to sleep. And so if your brain doesn't turn off, how do you make it turn off? And what I did was I had to learn and say, now I'm going to go sit down and go, I'm going to meditate. Yeah, that ain't going to work. Okay, my brain goes off into 25 different directions while I'm doing it. And then becomes a rap song for me to keep trying to sing along with. But it's not going to be there, and it's not going to be conducive to you doing that. So then I had to go out and I had to find products that actually, when listened to with headphones, will align your brain into alpha waves, into beta, into theta, into these different meditative states that you would want to get yourself into. So my thing to you is I'm going to say, great, if you want to, you can go ahead and shoot me a DM, shoot me a text, shoot me whatever it is, say I want access to it, okay? I used to just give it to everybody, and it was just dumped out in there, and it's probably $1,000 worth of stuff that I've purchased over the years, right? Some of these were back when things came on CDs. I don't know if anybody knows what those are anymore. Okay, but they were little discs that were reflective, yeah, and they had data on them, and they were all these different things I can get. So I took them and I put them out there, and there's probably 50 different things in here, and those 50 different things, everybody said, yeah, I went into the folder, thanks for giving me access, but I don't know how to use it. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, okay, fine. So then what I said to everybody was I said, look, here, I'm going to go and do one step further. So I added it into little groupings. So you now have, when you sit here, beginners, intermediate, manifested outcomes, quantum, which is more advanced. Okay. And then we have videos that you can watch that help you too in there. But down at the bottom, it says, play me first. Like Alice in Wonderland, drink this first. Okay. You click that and it explains to you how to go through this folder and utilize every one of the things that's in there. It shows you start at the beginner one and take the beginner episode 1 and do that for 30 minutes. Right. And then once you've done that for a week, add level 2 in that same folder. So now you're doing an hour long, and that's what you're going to put together, and that's how it's going to get done. But that itself, you could, if you have a half hour, go drop that in, plug in your headphones, right? It needs your headphones in. You can't just play it through the car stereo. You put your headphones in, let it align the brain waves for 30 minutes, refresh, pop back out. What typically happens is you sit there listening to, like the first one is like nature sound and a babbling brook, right? That's not a female. It's an actual like a river. Okay. So it's just trickling down. You're listening to it. About 10 minutes into it, you're like, this is boring. This is just this. The next thing you know, it stops. And for those 20 minutes, your brain has been reset and checked out. And there is no thought happening during that time. Okay. On the Western side of the world, our brains don't shut off. And if we don't shut off and we don't recharge, then we're going to have a lot of pain going forward. And we just went through everything you're going to see down there in this presentation. So I want to remind you, you got to get good sleep so that you can perform at your best and that you can actually get the next process in your sale, the next sold deal. So any questions, either one of you guys on the screen? Anybody else?
I want to help Facebook? Give some tools out. Yeah. So for anybody who has an iPhone, if you go in at night and you change your alarm, you can go into your alarm and then you can set your sleep schedule and you can set up how many hours minimum you want and how soon before bedtime do you want your phone to go into the kind of a mode where you don't hear text messages or you don't hear anything else. That is a game changer, right? And to your first slide's point, that's the entire lack of sleep is what cults use to indoctrinate people, right? Because you make poor decisions on lack of sleep. That's the entire reason that during torture and everything else that they do to people.
Don't tell everybody what I'm doing.
I know. Well, that's why you're up late at night. But and then along with your power naps, if you've never heard of a coffee nap, what you do is you drink your cup of coffee and then you go take your 15 or 20-minute nap. And when you wake up, the caffeine is kicked in. So you wake up vibrant from your nap because you've done a coffee nap.
I wake up from naps not wondering what state I'm in. That's my problem. I wake up and I'm like, who am I? Where am I? What happened to me? How did I fall asleep with socks on? I don't get it. Yeah. So, but for those of you that are watching, any questions? Kai, you got anything? You good? Brian Golden, thank you for the shares and helping. Because guys, we need to sleep better. We are creeping up on 2:30. You know me. I like to get done in a half an hour. So I would say let's get out there and start selling things. For those of you that are watching the view, watching it out on Instagram, watching it through Facebook or LinkedIn or any of the other places that are out there, say thanks for joining us. If you want to be part of the group, then you go to joinwargamesgroup.com down below. You'll see him there. And Jerry Eisenhower, torture is. It's what people normally say my shows are. No, that's not true. My shows are insightful and delightful, just like me. Okay.
Hey, I like that your show was on National Mentor Day too, Joe. I mean, I feel like we're all learning.
Of course. That's why we're out on everything going, hey, look, everybody, we got the show to help us get better sleep so we can sell more. So as we end every show, guys, I want to thank everybody who spent their time with me. And of course, go out and sell something. Thanks, everybody.